In 2006, I first met Tyler Fishlock. He's in the studio with me again with his mum, Georgette. I'm not going to make an announcement about anything. Georgette, you are. Good morning.
Oh, thanks, Neil. Morning to you.
Hi, Tyler.
Hi.
Georgette, what's happened?
Yesterday, our prayers came true and Tyler was put into full remission. So we are now officially cancer-free.
Full remission.
Full remission.
I'll just remind you, it's about almost exactly a year ago that you and I talked about a relapse, about a new problem.
When he got out of the MRI on Monday night, his specialist that has been with him since he was 2, came in and said, look, it's not good news, it's back. We need to do a biopsy and we need to work out exactly where it is. They were pretty confident it wasn't in the brain from the MRI scan on Monday night. It's apparently in his sinuses and it's corroded the bridge of his nose. So it's there in force, and he was pretty happy last night. He managed to get about 95% of the tumours out, but at the same time it was very soft and pliable and it was breaking, so that's not a great sign. So he's got a long road ahead of him and many surgeries and treatments, but we're going to get through it again.
You did get through it again.
We did.
A year on, what's happened over the past year? Because I know we've talked often, but it's been pretty grim at times, hasn't it?
It has. The guy actually sat down Monday night and we've been keeping a journal of what's been going on and as far as what tests he had and goings on day to day. And I actually calculated, and it was quite scary, Neil.
You've had to write it down.
I did. And it's not even all of it, but we've basically had 14 rounds of chemotherapy. We've spent 105 nights plus in hospital. He went through a 14.5-hour surgery that we were given a high risk of not him making. So, we're grateful that he's here for that reason. He's had 25 transfusions of bloods and platelets, 45 dressing changes, 27 MRI scans, bone scans, PET scans, every machine possible he's been in. He's had 4 biopsy surgeries, 4 trips to emergencies that has led to, life-threatening infections that he's got in between chemotherapy rounds. So just looking at that, we were there every step of the way, but it's just truly amazing that he's come out the other side of this and proven once again, if you're determined, you can beat it.
How did you get through it? The whole family.
We just rallied together again and said there's no option but to go forward and just tackle each day as it comes. And as much as they prepared us at the beginning that it was going to be a whole lot different to the first cancer, and things were obviously very serious from the beginning, and I don't think there was a great hope given, no one really felt like he was going to get through this because of the circumstances of his cancer and how severe it was. But back in my head, there was just no doubt he was going to get through it. He had to get through it.
I won't ask Tyler this, did you explain to him how serious it was?
We didn't go into great detail with him. He knew that he had the cancer again. He knew that it was going to be a much bigger fight than the first time. But we never went into the exacts, what was said to us in privacy with his oncologist. We didn't want him to feel like he was behind the 8 ball. We needed him to be positive and strong to get through each and every round of chemo. The chemo itself was a risk we were going to lose him to. So we didn't want him in the back of his head fearing that. So we just kept going forward, and he kept pushing and fighting and springing back when sometimes none of us knew how he was doing it.
So, Tyler, how do you feel?
Great.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
When do you go back to school?
Next term.
You look forward to that?
Yeah.
What was it like for the past year?
You asked me or Mum?
For you.
Oh.
Sorry.
Challenging, scary, and I'll just lay in my hospital bed at the hospital thinking, is this ever going to end? And if it does, am I ever going to be able to, will I ever come back here? It was just terrifying.
Terrifying? Because you've been through it before when you were little. You're a big kid now.
But now this part I remember.
Yeah.
I didn't really remember the first one.
What was toughest about it?
Just knowing, just thinking if I'm going to go home tomorrow or next day. I didn't know when I was going to be home, or I was stuck in there, and it was just frightening.
You found what was frightening about it?
I mean, one thing, the noise,
The noise of what?
the hospital,
Yeah.
because I'm not really used to that.
Yeah.
Another thing, in the back of my head, I would think, what's my cat up to? Where's Dad? And sometimes I would go to sleep, and then I would wake up and Mum would be gone, and I don't know where she would be.
Yeah.
And yeah,
How's your cat?
he's good,
What's his name?
Percy. But he was a little jealous. I think it was the day before yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Georgette, can Tyler go back to school next term?
Yeah, it'll be a slow process. Obviously, he'd love to just head straight in there and go full pelt, but he's got to obviously be reintroduced to school. And
So I have to learn my ABCs and 1, 2, 3s all over again?
no, meaning time. It won't be a straight 9 to 3 day. He'll have to ease into it, and he now has to be re-immunised in 6 months for everything else. And it's just a matter of waiting for his bone marrow and his counts to come back up so that he, can cope with everything and go forward at school. But it'll be a good day.
Did you get grumpy, Tyler, when you were in hospital? Ever get a bit cross about it all?
Yeah.
What did you do then?
I don't know. I just listened to the TV and calmed down, I guess.
Yeah, it's a bit hard to calm down in that circumstance, though, isn't it?
Mm.
So you just sort of calmed yourself down.
Mm.
What were the nurses like?
Well, most of them are really nice.
Some weren't, yeah.
Yeah, and some weren't.
I heard you might give them a hard time, though, did you? Did you ever?
Nah.
Yes, you did.
I think you might have.
I can see that smile. I can see that. So what did you feel like yesterday, Tyler, when you got the all clear?
I was feeling really great. Absolutely, amazing.
You always expected it?
Yes.
You're pretty tough.
Yeah.
Hey, do you still barrack for the Tigers?
Yeah.
Oh, they got
But I'm not way into it like Dad is.
No, he is. He is right into it. I remember that. Georgette, what's the message out of all this, do you reckon?
You just got to keep your faith. You just got to keep ploughing along and never give up. Even if you feel like there's brick walls put up in front of you and you keep constantly hearing negative messages, you've just got to keep positive and keep moving forward and just never give up on them.
Well, you certainly got some negative messages. I remember a few phone calls we had which would just look like desperate times.
Yeah. We were told many times things weren't great, prepare yourself. And I know the scariest thing for us was sitting down there was about 19 surgeons leading up to his surgery, and they all went through the dangers involved and exactly what they had to do to Tyler and the consequences of having the surgery. On one hand, if we didn't have the surgery, we were guaranteed we'd lose him. But if we had the surgery, there was a 90+% chance we weren't going to see him again. So I think the most terrifying part of that was walking him into that surgery that morning and saying goodbye to him and thinking, was that the last words we had with him?
90% chance.
And then staring at a clock for 14 hours, waiting for the phone to ring every couple of hours for updates from surgery. And I remember seeing 3 of the main surgeons, and they stood at the window. It was 10:20 at night, and we hadn't heard from them from 3 o'clock that afternoon. It was the last phone call we received, and we were sitting in the hospital and we looked up and there they were, and they were doing this victory dance in their scrubs, and they were just as shocked as we were. They just said he was so strong. He just ploughed through this surgery, and he then went on to prove how strong he was, because they warned us, 10 days at least in intensive care, and then we're looking at 3 to 4 weeks recovery in a surgical ward. This little bugger came out of intensive care within 48 hours and walked out of hospital 8 days later. He literally walked down to the car park. And I just thought, if there's ever somebody who can show someone strength, I'm walking next to him. You know, he's got a nickname at hospital and a couple of the doctors call him Miracle on Legs. And I believe that's exactly what I've got.
Yeah. Tyler, you had tubes and things in you. You had a tube in your chest for about the whole year, did you?
Yes. A double Hickman one.
What's that mean?
It's one cord, and then it goes into two, so it can hook up my pipes to a pump.
Oh, yeah.
To administer the medicine.
So, when did that come out?
That came out yesterday.
How did you feel about that?
Well, like there was a bit of like physically or mentally.
Oh, both.
Well, I felt great mentally, but I did feel a bit of pain when they pulled it out. So.
But you can have a bath now. You got a new bath at home?
Yeah.
Been in it yet?
No. Well, I have stood in it, but not with water and stuff.
Not with water. Well, you can look forward to that. What's the future, Georgette? What do you want? What's going to happen now? I mean, this is. I don't know.
I don't want to jinx myself now.
No.
You know, surely life can't be cruel the third time. You know, I just want him to continue with schooling, grow up to be this incredible, intellectual, independent person, and achieve greatness in his life. And if that's what happens, I'll be the happiest mum. You know, I just want him healthy.
What do you do now? Do you have a holiday? Do you have a break? What do you do?
Well,
oh, Tyler's got an idea on that. What do you want to do?
Well, before mission, is that what it's called?
Before
before we got before
remission.
Remission.
no admission.
Before you got admitted.
Yes.
Before admission. That's
Yeah,
right.
before admission.
Yeah.
We Mum and Dad both promised me that when I got the remission, we would go to Florida, Disney World.
Yes.
And Kennedy Space Center and Gator World.
Really? Gator World? What do you want to go there for?
I don't know. To frighten the poop out of my sister.
Yeah, all right. That's enough reason. Yeah. So this is right, Georgette. You promised to take him to Florida.
We had to give him something to look forward to.
So
when there was days where there was no hope and he was becoming tired, and we needed to give him something to look forward to. And we had heard that there's audio descriptive available within Disney World, and we talked about it a couple of times prior, and Brad and I just said, that's it. We're going to take him. Somehow we'll get him there, and that's his reward for getting through what he did. And so hopefully at the end of the year, we'll be off.
That's the aim.
That's the aim. That's the aim. So his sister's currently in year 12, so obviously we can't go, too soon. He's still got a lot of recovery to do, and he's got to still take it easy with his head. But end of the year, after Christmas, we're hoping to get him over to Florida.
Well, I hope we can help.
Thanks.
If we can, we will. And thanks for talking to us. It's been a very public battle over the years. Since 2006 we first talked when the silly Tigers were going out to play football with Tyler. And it really, the importance, and you and I have talked about this before, the importance of this also is that it helps people who are going through similar things. There'll be a lot of kids in that hospital now going through similar things, as you know better than anybody.
Absolutely. And there's so many that, you just don't understand why it happens. And that's one thing I think I got out of the whole experience, again, is meeting these wonderful parents and sharing their journey as well as us being able to share ours with them.
We will keep in touch. We'll help in any way we can.
Thanks,
and, when you rang me yesterday, told me it sort of made the day for everybody.
Thank you.
Well done. And Tyler, what are you going to do when you grow up?
Hopefully, be a spy.
A spy? Who for? Which country?
This country.
Lucky.
Well, good luck with that. I hope you become a spy and everything else you want to, and stay healthy, won't you?
Mm-hmm.
Look after your mum. You do that?
He does.
Yeah.
Okay. Tyler and Georgette Fishlock, thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks,
and,
Neil.
Gee, it's great news. Thank you.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, mate.
And my rubber duck.
A rubber duck?
And my rubber duck.
Oh, you got your rubber duck with you?
Yeah, it's in my pocket.
All right, bring it out. What's with the rubber duck?
See, you were talking about my when I have my bath.
Yeah.
This is for my very first bath.
Oh, you've been hanging on to that duck waiting for the first bath. Has it got a name?
Rubber ducky.
Of course, of course. Tyler, thank you. You look after yourself, mate, all right?
All right.
Take care. And Georgette, thank you.
Thanks, Neil.